Hey guys, Carlos here from Angler's Lifestyle. We're here at my home today, and no, I'm not fishing, so this is not a fishing video. One of our subscribers have asked, can you give us an update on how your uh, self-watering tubs are doing and your garden? So for those expecting to see some fishing in this video, you ain't gonna see it. Just an update of my garden and the tubs. First of all, let's talk about the tubs. I have learned a thing or two with respect to how effective they are and whether the air pruning holes actually make a difference. So the real question is it enough for these tubs to sustain plants? And the answer is yes. And also the answer is maybe. First of all, what I've learned is you need good soil. And the soil has to be draining, as well as it needs to be able to wick the water up. When you have soil that's compacting, it's not very good for the plants, and depending on the plant will not survive. What I've learned so far is any leafy greens type of vegetables, these plants will thrive very well on these any of these tubs, whether it's the blue ones or the white ones that I have. And as far as the air pruning holes, we still have to find that out, because we still have plants that are growing in them, and I haven't pulled any of the plants yet to see the actual root ball. But what I've learned is that snow peas and green beans don't do very well in these tubs. I'm not quite sure whether it's an issue of inoculant or soil or whatever, but again, it's one of those things that I still need to figure out whether it's a plant issue. I also planted some green beans on the backyard soil, and so far those kind of did okay, a little bit better, but not any more better than the tubs itself. Snow peas, I had issues with snow peas. I did a second round of snow peas, and the snow peas died, with early blight as well. And for some reason, something's not working with respect to any type of plant that draws nitrogen from the soil. So let's go ahead and visit a few of my tubs. Here's a prime example of a good plant to grow in these tubs. This is basil, and I started this basil from an actual plant from Home Depot. In fact, there's multiple basils here. There's the Genovese, and I believe there's the sweet basils that have the smaller leaves. But ultimately, they pretty much grow out as a bush. You see these potential flowers that are forming? What you do is essentially you pull them off, okay? And what that does is it tells the plant to, hey, don't flower, continue producing leaves. Okay, so that's one way to trick them. And so as you can see, this basil is very full. To the right here is another good plant to grow in these tubs. This is celery. Okay, celery, I grew this from an actual stem that I bought from the grocery. I took it down all the way to the nub, and then put it in water, and then once it started to have some greens, I went ahead and planted it on this. I went ahead and planted it in the soil, so it just keeps on growing. It's all leafy greens, and of course green onions. Again, similarly, you buy this from the store and you take it all the way to the stem. And what you do is you put it in water, and it starts to grow as well. And once it gets to a point where it has some more greens, put it in the soil, and that's what happens. They just grow. Now, again, you can never have enough green onions. Now, with respect to the tub itself, yes, it loves having his roots wet all the time. Okay, it's definitely sucking a lot of that water from the bottom. So green onions, celery are really good. Another plant that's good for these tubs are parsley. Okay, this parsley, this is Italian parsley. Some of it is, I'm not quite sure whether, why I'm getting this, why I'm getting these leaves that are yellowing. There's some over here that are redding. I'm not sure whether it's just the actual parsley itself. But anyway, half a tub of parsley is more than enough. We don't make a lot of pasta, but parsley works really well. There used to be cilantro on this side, but of course, cilantro gets eaten really fast. So I've decided to start another tub of cilantro. But you see this, let me show you these. This is green onion, okay? And these are green onions grown from seed, okay? See, the rule in my garden is any tub that doesn't have any plant in it, it's a waste of time, okay, and a waste of growing space. So these green onions, okay, I grew from seed, and these are the seeds that came from green onions like this. My wife decided to grow them and let them go to bolt and seed. So the end result is she harvested the seed and she said, let's go ahead and plant some of the seeds, and had some open space. So there they are. Look, they're definitely growing. Here we are, okay, with one of my fun plants. I call it my fun plants. It's almost indestructible. This is okra. The okra plant is one of those indestructible plants, okay? You can give it the worst soil condition, okay, and it will grow. All right, so you can see here I have one okra. There's another one there. And okra has gotta be the most beautiful plant to have, especially when it starts to flower, because once it flowers, it's very interesting. Once it flowers, the flower only lasts about, I don't know, 6 hours, and it's very beautiful once it opens up. And not sure if it's self-pollinating, but with this variety self-pollinating, but right behind the flower is actually this okra pod. But okra is delicious. Okay, I can never have enough, so my intent is to plant more. My wife said we gotta plant more of this, so my next experiment is I'm gonna try and grow this on the ground to see if the worst conditions will allow me to grow these. But this is in a pot, okay, and it's draining. Okay, so it's one of those plants that you have to have draining type of soil condition. My daughter grew some marigold from seed, and as you can see, she's been moving around, to help bring in some of these pollinators and attract them. But that's doing very well. Rosemary. Okay, rosemary is one of those plants that you can never have enough of it. Okay, but again, it's one of those bush that if it's not trimmed down, it becomes a hedge. Okay, so actually for us, one plant is more than enough. So rosemary is a type of plant that will do very well, okay, in a self-draining type of pot. And there's plenty of soil in there, plenty of it place for the roots to grow, so that this bush will do very well. Again, for me, one bush is more than enough. And the younger the leaves, when you put them in your food, okay, the more aromatic it is and the more delicious it is. This jalapeno plant I got from Home Depot, okay, and it's about, it's a good 2 feet tall. Okay, they're having second round of jalapenos growing in them, see? Okay, and it's not very spicy, a little bit disappointed. So I'm gonna try again to grow some jalapenos from seeds, but this particular variety from Home Depot isn't really all that spicy. Now this hot burrito one, again from Home Depot, was actually a very nice surprise. It was spicy, and we seem to prefer that. It goes really well with a lot of the garnishes that we cook. Okay, behind there some sweet peppers. Okay, again, one of those peppers, a pepper plant that just stays small, and we didn't get to harvest a whole lot. Pepper plant supposed to do well, in this tub. And again, they're very strong feeders. You have to continually put some amendments in the soil, in order for them to do well. So I'm hopeful that they'll continue. It's now late September, and this pepper plant is still doing okay. Right next to it, again, are some more pepper plants, and these pepper plants I actually grew from seed, and I held out long enough, keeping them in smaller pots, and then eventually replanted them into this tub because this tub freed up. I used to have celery in this tub, and the celery already went to bolt, and I decided to uproot that. As you can see down there, there's still some celery stalk that, again, I didn't want to disturb the soil. So the less digging, the better it is. See this mulch material here? Okay, that's the Kellogg garden soil. I learned that that type of material is actually good as mulch, and they're small enough fragments of wood in there that they serve very well as mulch, keeping the soil cool. But these pepper plants, I feel bad for this particular one here. It gets, there's the squirrel that keeps on eating it, and it's starting to grow some leaves again. But as you can see, that leaf over there, it's getting chewed up. That's pretty much what the leaves look like. All the leaves look like, because this baby squirrel kept on eating it. But these pepper plants are grown from seed. As you can see, they're flowering. Okay, I've been putting some seabird guano, okay, which is high in phosphorus in these tubs, to see if they will continue to flower even at late September. Looks like they are, because there's another, yeah, right there, right behind this leaf. Yeah, there it is. Anyway, I'm very hopeful that this tub of peppers will continue, because we use jalapeno peppers all the time. You can never have enough jalapeno peppers. Moving on to tomatoes. Okay, so here are my late tomatoes. So as you can see, I still have some tomatoes here. And again, I've been feeding this tub with some seabird guano to see if the increase in phosphorus will continue to allow them to develop more flowers. I have some tomatoes here. Okay, these are the bush variety that I had an experiment on. Remember those 3 buckets? Okay, well, here they are. These are the 3 buckets right here, and they're still producing. Okay, they don't have very many leaves in them, but as you can see, height wise, okay, the middle one is the one without the air pruning. Okay, as you can see, that one still has some tomatoes in them. Okay, all of them still have tomatoes. Okay, but the middle one still has some more, that's produced. So whether the air pruning, helped or did not help. Okay, in this particular case, it almost says that, well, the middle one doesn't have air pruning, and yet it still has tomatoes. Okay, the other ones that have air pruning is taller. Look, it actually grew past, that's a, what is it, a 4-foot trellis there. And as you can see, it's grown past the trellis. See? Again, I fed these buckets with some seabird guano, and let's see if they will continue to produce. But this one has some tomatoes still. So, okay. So, air pruning, not air pruning, I'm not sure. Again, at the end of the season, when I pull this out, we'll see what the roots look like. But I have some more tomatoes growing over here, and these are the indeterminate type. So you can see we still have some cherry tomatoes that are growing. Cherry tomatoes are fun to grow. Okay, when you get a harvest, okay, it's really nice. These are the cherry tomatoes, and then these are the bush varieties. You know, this season I didn't really get very big bush variety tomatoes. You know, I got a few of those bottom end rot or blossom end rot, but for the most part I said that, you know, these cherry tomatoes are more fun to grow because first of all, you know, they keep on growing. Okay, and this particular one right here, this one I grew, okay, from seed from Safeway. Okay, as you can see, these tomatoes are really nice. Look, it's the size of my thumb, and they taste better than the cherry tomatoes. I would much rather grow these than the bigger tomatoes. The only reason why I'd have the bigger tomatoes is so I can have them in sandwiches, but I'd rather have them in salads anyway. Again, there's nothing wrong using these cherry ones for stir fry. But for the most part, you know, these ones that I grew from seed, okay, from Safeway, are actually delicious. So maybe I'll save some of those seeds and grow some more for next year. So the question to answer, are tomatoes good for these self-wicking tubs or self-watering tubs? And the answer is yes. Okay, they definitely love, you know, that water. Okay, but they also need a lot of nutrition. The tomatoes are heavy feeder plants. They need to have, you know, NPK values high. You know, they need that calcium, you know, the both macro and micronutrients in the soil, and they need to have constant feeding. Well, they will grow as much as how much food that you will give them, but they will constantly, you know, deplete that tub and that soil with nutrients. So be prepared to feed your plants as much as you can. And you know, I've used these weed barriers, okay, and covered the soil so that it allows me to water the soil from the top as well. So not only that I water it from the tube, okay, I also water it from the top because, you know, tomato plants have capillary roots, okay, that are, you know, going towards the surface, and they're looking for more nutrition. And now with air pruning, again, you know, it allows those roots to grow, you know, as much as they can into a root ball. Once they hit those air pruning holes, they die and they start fresh again. They build a lot of roots. So again, I have yet to check to see, you know, whether this particular plant here, after the season's over, to see if the root ball is actually affected based on air pruning. But again, you know, tomato plants don't like their leaves wet at all, because that starts disease and from soil. And so, you know, a prime example of that, let me show you. Here's a tomato plant that I did not cover the soil with weed block. Okay, so eventually, I don't know whether it's late in the season, but you see all those dead leaves. Okay, they definitely don't like their leaves being wet. Okay, and who knows if some of the disease that's in the soil, okay, has splashed up into the leaves that have ultimately killed them. Here's a good tip for tomato growers. Get yourself a nice pruning shear, because when you're harvesting tomatoes, it's good to have a nice sharp pointed pruning shears so that you can reach in there and actually clip just the tomato you want to harvest. So let me go ahead and show you that real quick. See this? I can just cut that. Okay, giving me these cherry tomatoes. Okay, here's another one. Okay, so that's one good way. Okay, see, these tomatoes are really nice. So a nice sharp pruning shears. This one particularly is Fiskars. Okay, got them from Amazon. They work really well. My girls have been using them to prune some of their sage and thyme. Okay, so that's one recommendation. So what other plants do well in this self-watering tubs? I believe eggplant, okay, or one of those that will do well. Here's a prime example. Okay, so if you can see this round one down here, okay, this is supposedly an American eggplant variety where it's supposed to be round like that, but as you can see, there's nothing round about these eggplants. Okay, so I don't know whether I just got a a packet that was mislabeled, but I'm not complaining. I love these type of eggplants that are long. Okay, we have this dish that we make, that these eggplants that are long would work very well. But so far, this eggplant is doing well. They are a heavy feeder plant as well. I've fed this with nitrogen and again seabird guano. And you see these trellis here. This trellis here is made from concrete reinforcement. They're kind of cute. Makes it look like an egg structure. Okay, but it's very flexible, and they're very affordable. They're very cheap. All you need to do is bend it in half. Okay, they come in 10-foot lengths, and you just bend them in half, and you shove them in the corner of each of this tub. Okay, I have 6 here. Okay, and again, and I have 6 plants around here, and they're they just lean up against this structure, and it allows them to continue producing fruit and not break a stem. Okay, so that's one way of growing eggplant in in a tub like this. Let me show you one that's growing in a self-draining pot. This was an experiment, and I grew this actually from seed. It's Asian eggplant. I've used corn husks to keep the soil cool. Okay, and as you can see, I have a few eggplant in there that's growing. I've got it protected by this chicken wire because there's this baby squirrel that's trying to eat all of my plants. And you can see this eggplant here. It's a little bit beat up, but it's one of the first ones, and I really should harvest that. That's ready to go, that eggplant. But there's a few more, and there's another eggplant in a self-wicking tub, one of those 5-gallon tubs that has air pruning. So again, that's an experiment, okay, to see if it'll do well. But these plants are not very tall. They're flowering. Okay, I've given this some seabird guano as well. So, and the leaves are kind of doing okay with all the fires that we've had. Okay, and there's a bit of ash collected on top. So, but again, this baby squirrel has been eating these plants, or trying to eat some of these plants, and that's why I had to put them in this chicken wire and protect them. But in here are my potatoes. I've grown 3 rounds of potatoes, and let me show you a clip of us harvesting our first round of potatoes. Okay, cut away. First, we gotta cut all the top stuff.
Alright, I'm gonna put you back here. Oh wait, no, not that one, the other one.
Okay, boys, you gotta slowly lift that bag in here.
You ready?
Oh, hold on, Tommy, come on.
It's on the ground.
Alright, it looks like it's mom and me. 1, 2, 3.
All of us.
Okay, just dump it.
Dump the potatoes.
Wow.
Oh! Okay, let it settle.
Alright.
Oh, you can see the roots growing through.
Oh! I just tore the bag.
Yeah, you tore the bag.
Grab it from the outside. Grab it from the bottom, Ray. The bottom. The top, the bottom,
This is going great.
Come over here, girls. Come over here.
You guys are making progress there.
Hold on.
You're almost there.
Maybe we won't have any potatoes.
Oh.
Okay, let's see.
Okay.
Maybe there won't be any.
So
Here's the glove.
Punch it.
Potatoes. Where are the gloves?
Here. That's why I was giving you guys.
Alright, we're about. Oh!
You find one, Ray?
Found one potato!
One potato.
We have 2 potatoes. There's another one. Oh no, that's
Not one.
I can feel some.
I
we
see.
have
I
little
see
itty
the.
bitty
Oh, yeah.
potatoes. Little baby
It's the tiny
potatoes.
Potatoes.
Oh, that one got ripped in half. I don't know that one doesn't make right. Yeah.
It's so tiny.
Oh, here's. Oh! This is a big potato.
Look at
There's 2
that.
more.
Yeah.
Hold on.
There's like 2 more in there.
Whoa!
Oh, that's a huge one. Oh.
Go get the blue bucket. Maybe that's the seed potato. That's why it's big. Go get the blue bucket, the blue Lowe's bucket.
Right there.
There's
Why
so
don't
many
you
right
just
here.
put
Potatoes.
the potatoes back into the bag where they came from?
Good idea.
Oh my goodness, what a great idea.
Man, that's.
Oh, here's another potato.
Here's a couple here.
Oh,
Oh,
here's
that's
some
a little
little
baby one.
It's like a scavenger hunt.
We got potatoes.
Actually, it's more of like an Easter egg hunt.
It is like an Easter egg.
I don't feel any more.
Don't feel any more?
Big old mound of.
Wait, hold on.
Whoa.
We need to check this mound. I think that's it, Dad.
Yes.
We got 5 tomatoes. I mean potatoes.
Potatoes.
Tomatoes. That's a miracle to have tomatoes.
Oh, we have another baby one. Oh,
Wow, look
that
at
is
that.
not a. That's more of a sprout. That's like a
Really?
sprout.
That's all we got?
Well, maybe it's because it's like deeper down.
We got one.
In this.
We
Because
got
we
one
flipped it
good-looking
over,
potato.
remember? I don't think they made it all the way to the
Are
bottom.
you sure? Oh, Tommy, get dig
Well,
it.
why don't you move all those little potatoes out your
Bag.
Yeah.
grow
Yeah.
bag
And then
and just start
putting
moving
dirt
the
back
soil over?
Okay, here. You can have both hands now.
in. Oh, thank you.
I have my own.
Okay, go.
Ready, Lil?
Here.
I want to eat
You
this little
hold.
potato.
You hold.
Hey, you hold.
You hold.
You hold. You come here.
So that we don't spill
Hold on, let me
any
get a
more.
mask.
Oh no.
Dirt.
Oh shoot.
What do you need, Ashley?
My mask is
Oh, no.
He's okay.
Just don't breathe.
Don't breathe. Whatever you do,
Wait,
do not.
okay, I just wiped my hand on my arm.
Oh,
My hand had dirt.
at least you didn't wipe it on your pants.
Oh, I found another one.
potatoes you guys think you're gonna find?
Oh,
in
I
there?
found another one.
Oh, we
Aha,
got 2.
see? You gotta just have it like crumble through your hands so that you can see if you find it.
I'll take the other potatoes, right?
Found a
Here you go.
but not a potato.
Fingerlings.
Did we at least get 6?
I don't know what that.
No, look
Well, you got a bunch over here. You got way more than 6 over here.
Yeah, but they're small.
But for all that, we get what, 6?
Only 6 right here. And I know there was a couple more. Ray, you have more?
I have
I just gave it. I just
you
gave it to my
yeah.
mom.
Janet has a couple.
Right.
That's it?
Reminds me
That's
of
it?
a TV
That's it?
show called One Potato Two.
one potato, 2 potato. That's Gordon Ramsay.
Got to peel the potatoes.
Surprisingly, it smells good. It's really fresh.
Yeah.
Idaho.
Yeah, that's
Who the hell?
Idaho.
probably.
Dump it. Yep, I think that's it, Dad.
Oh.
Oh, because
All that work?
Maybe we'll find more in the other bags.
Where's your mom?
What? Who?
Care. Where's your mom? Carolyn, can you hear me?
I don't think she can.
How come?
It's connected to my mic over there.
Hey, Care.
Oh.
where is your mom?
Hello. Where's your mom?
Yeah.
Where's your mom?
Where's your mom?
She was supposed to be watching it.
Well, it doesn't matter. It wasn't spectacular.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wait.
Alright, that's it. Yep, that'll feel it.
That was it?
Yep, that's it.
Oh.
Alright,
Okay,
Dad,
let's see.
this is our harvest.
Yeah.
I mean, you got more potatoes.
That.
Look at it. We're dripping in potatoes.
Potato was a whole lot. How many is that exactly?
Wait, hold on. There's a bug.
Oh my god, really? Seriously?
12, 13, 14, 15,
Oh,
16,
really?
17, 18, 19.
All that work for that little potato?
23 potatoes.
Oh my god.
Other insects are scary.
I think one of them is the actual seed.
This one?
No, the one in your left
Like,
hand.
they would roll up and be like, "Kitty."
Yeah.
Wouldn't we use them for like bowling balls, like small bowling
Oh no, I would
Or no,
make
that
them
one way on the
close.
right side.
Yeah,
Make
it's
them
like,
roll up.
Maybe
And
that
then
one.
once they rolled up, I would like pry them open.
I've done it before.
Alright, here you go, Dad.
Oh, well, just like the Geraldo Rivera vault open, we got how many?
21.
23.
Some are babies.
20
lot of them are
potatoes. Something obviously went wrong and back to the drawing board. So yeah, that first round of potatoes were somewhat disappointing because we didn't really get, big ones. But what we've learned is, that soil has to be rich in nutrients in order for it to do very well. It seemed like I had more leaves than I did have potatoes, and then similarly, I didn't really have enough potato plants in there in order for the tubers to develop. But this potato, this second round, or actually this third round of potatoes that I'm growing, I protected in these cages here. Okay, so that the baby squirrels don't eat the leaves. He tried to eat the leaves, and I think the leaves are toxic. I mean, it's toxic to human, and I can't imagine it being also toxic for the squirrels. So again, it just when you don't have leaves growing, how are the potatoes going to grow underneath and draw some nutrients from the sun, and from obviously the roots won't develop. So again, I've used some chicken manure, okay, in this potatoes, and we probably are at least 10 to 15 days close to harvesting those. But the potatoes, essentially, I just grew them from the potatoes that I've chitted in my counter, and that seems to be the only way that I've grown potatoes, and I've done pretty good. Actually, this is my third round already. So let me show you a few more experiments that I'm doing. So what else will do well in self-wicking tubs? And I can honestly say that I think cucumbers are not the best for self-wicking tubs. I don't know if they like their roots wet, or is it just this particular tub? I have a few plants that I planted in this tub, and they've all died, same death. I don't know if the soil is bad, but here's another example. So you see this cucumber, there were at least 6 seeds in here, but only one of them is actually growing. And yeah, it kind of, it's growing quite a bit, but not as good. As you can see, some of even the little seedlings are not doing very well either. Okay, I grew them in here as an experiment to see, is it the soil, and I've amended the soil with chicken manure and all the nutrients that I think would do very well for these plants. But again, as you can see, they're not doing very well. Not quite sure if they don't like the actual wet soil. Here are my other cucumber plants in a 25-gallon grow bag. Okay, there's 6 plants in here. As you can see, they're doing very well. Okay, I had to protect them in this chicken wire cage. Okay, but as you can see, they're doing very well. Okay, they look very healthy. The leaves are nice. Okay, we have a few leaf miners going on here, but okay, for the most part, we have 6 plants in here. Okay, and they are all growing. Okay, these were all planted about the same time as the other tub. So it's either the soil was really bad in that tub, or they're the type of plants that just loves draining type of conditions. Okay, so the next thing I was going to do is plant these cucumbers on the ground to see if they will do well. Maybe late in the season for cucumbers to grow, but as you can see, I've got flowers and I've got cucumbers. So like I said, an empty tub or an empty grow bag is just wasted space. So after I harvested my second round of potatoes, I decided to grow some beets in the same grow bag. Let me show you that. Again, I've got them protected by the screen because I don't want the little squirrel to eat them. Okay, so as you can see, I've got some beets growing in there. It's almost very tempting to eat the leaves of these beets, but again, eventually I have to put them in a cage, you know, so that the squirrels don't eat them. Okay, now that you've seen my beets, I'm gonna show you the tubs that I repurposed. Along this alley of tubs right here, okay, I used to have 8-ball zucchini, black beauty zucchini, and just the standard green zucchini growing these. You know, essentially those are heavy feeder type of plants that I was able to grow in these tubs, but the issue was eventually they consumed all the nutrients in the soil. You know, I was able to harvest a few. In fact, you know, my son on this tub right here, he actually harvested you know, a pretty nice zucchini. Can't let them grow too big because you know, they become reedy and you know, they're not good anymore. But again, this is what I call the zucchini row, and I've pretty much repurposed this and you know, planted some of what we love to eat. And my daughter loves to eat cilantro. You know, when she came home, she immediately found the cilantro that was actually planted on this side of the house. So cilantro is one of the best vegetables to grow, and you know, it's great for salsa. It's great for you know, chili verde. But I've started my own cilantro tub again. Here it is. This time I'm not very meticulous in how I plant these cilantro. I just spread the seed and I cover it with soil, and there they are. They germinated after a few days. So again, one of the fall vegetables that everyone should plant are lettuce. Okay, and what I've done is I've grown a few tubs of them here. Here's the lettuce blend, and they haven't really started growing big yet, so they just started sprouting out. And here is another tub of lettuce blend as well. So this, I'm not sure if this is gonna do very well because these were older seeds. The other tub may be a bit better, but anyway, the point is best to grow lettuce so you can have salad every day. You know, it's good for your digestion. So another tub that I started is spinach and arugula. Let me show you that. These are doing much better than the lettuce plant, but then again, these got started you know, a few days earlier. So here is that grow bag of carrots that I was telling you. Again, I have it protected by this chicken wire. Okay, as you can see, you know, I do have some little carrots now that's growing, and there's a lot of them. Before I was very meticulous as to how many seeds I put in there, but this time I just, you know, threw them out and then I covered it, and as you can see, after a few days, you know, all of the carrot seeds have started to sprout, you know, so there's quite a few of them. Okay, before I was very you know, specific in how many I placed and the type. This time I just spread it out. So my boys enjoyed eating these carrots, and we have fingerling carrots, and we have, you know, different color carrots, and you know, it was one of those vegetables that, you know, kids just enjoy. I mean, I enjoy them too. So anyway, let me go ahead and show you what we did back here. So what you're looking at here is the pile of corn. Okay, that is essentially the remnants of what we did. We planted these corn about 60 days ago in this area here. I'm sorry that it doesn't look much, but we interplanted corn and you know, zucchini as well as green beans in this land. Here's a few pictures that I have when we first planted it. It was a work of art between the three of us, my wife, my daughter, and my son. First we laid a chicken wire down here so that the gophers will not go through. And then we use the same soil that we have here that's very clay, it's very compact, and I amended this soil with chicken manure. Okay, we amended it with Kellogg garden soil potting mix. We also put some Epsom salt. We put some organic fertilizer. We put some sea minerals. We put a whole bunch of different fertilizers that make this soil a bit better, and again better than this clay structure here. But we had a pretty good turnout, and we harvested very nice ambrosia corn. Ambrosia corn was actually a good corn to grow. Yellow bantam, we didn't do very well. In fact, we ate very little of those. And here's something that we learned: once you harvest corn, it's best to harvest them all. Don't even wait. You can keep them after a while, in the fridge or just on your counter. But for the most part, once you deem they can be harvested, take them all. Or at least take, in my case, I had the ambrosia actually, ripen first, and then the golden bantam later on. For some reason, it seems like we ran out of nutrients in the soil because the golden bantam, didn't do very well thereafter. So I wouldn't grow that anymore. I will continue with the ambrosia. This is what the Native American did. They interplanted corn as well as squash and green beans. So the green beans will climb up the corn as stalks. The broad leaves of the squash, the zucchini will cover and cool the soil, okay? And of course the corn, this corn grew up to, and I swear it was almost 15 feet. It was higher than my fence. In fact, here's a few. Here's one zucchini here, and then here's one actually that I can harvest. So let me show you that. So how to harvest a zucchini: essentially you just turn, okay, and you pull. There you go. All right, this is the size of zucchini that you should harvest. Anything larger than this, it tends to be reedy, and these are delicious. Stir fried. I put it in zucchini bread actually. Oh, okay, I cheat a little bit. It's a banana nut bread mix, and then I go ahead and grate some of these zucchini in there, and it's delicious. I have a few more zucchini here. That's why I'm continuing to water this area, and we were very careful in removing the corn because I didn't want to disturb the roots of the zucchini. I want them to continue. As you can see here, the squirrels are eating the zucchini leaves, okay, but the zucchini is still producing, and I still see some pollinators here every once in a while. So it's actually pretty good. I would definitely grow zucchinis again. My grapes are again, they're brand new this year. All of these leaves are just for the sake of growing into my vine. I started out with a completely new vine. This is the first time that we've actually set up a trellis. Okay, so these grapevines would actually climb into them, and my daughter took a lot of time to make sure that these grapevines actually climb on and strap themselves and find their way. So eventually, these leaves would actually just die off, and would leave the vines there. So next year, hopefully, if not next year, the year after, there will be grapes. We had like one grape bunch actually ripened over here, but all the family was, every time they came around the corner, they were eating the grapes. So anyway, so this is my daughter's garden. She's got her sage growing, she's got her thyme going. We've got a few things growing here. We've got marigolds, we've got lavender, okay, and they're at the end of their cycle, and she completely enjoys it, and she takes a lot of time and a lot of experiments here. As you can see behind me, you know, she's definitely propagating more plants. Anyway, I hope guys that you enjoyed this revisit of my garden, and I hope that you get some inspiration by it. You know, again, I'm not the best gardener. You know, I had some success and I had some failures too, but that's the only way you learn. It's fall now, okay, and I'm going to start my fall garden as well, so that'll be a different update. So hope to be fishing with you guys again, and as always, come fish with us sometime. See ya.